Hello students. So today we are starting new chapter number 14 from your textbook, which is natural resources. So in this chapter we will study about the most three important natural resources, that is air, soil and water, and also about the pollution of these three natural resources. So let's start the chapter. First of all, let us have some basic introduction about natural resources, or what are these natural resources. What is the natural resources, or what are these natural resources? So first of all, we all know that life is present only on planet Earth. As we know it, life is only present on planet Earth. So what is so special about Earth which makes this planet on which life can survive? So it is, we from our general introduction or general knowledge, we can say that life requires some basic needs like a temperature, the ambient temperature, or it requires some constant temperature. It cannot survive on a high level of variant temperature. So temperature, water, air and food, these are some basic requirements every living organism requires to survive. So these are all present on Earth. That's why only Earth has some kind of living organisms, or we can say it life. So let's see these natural resources on our planet Earth. If you say that this is the Earth, we know that Earth is this round shape. So the first layer, or you can say the land on which we all stay, is made up of crust and soil, rocks, etc., which is called as lithosphere. The outermost layer on which we survive is called as lithosphere. We know that 75% of Earth's land is covered by water, or you can say in the form of oceans. So, and except for this water, also beneath this lithosphere, some groundwater is present. We know that groundwater is present in our Earth. So this groundwater is present in this hydrosphere. The area in which groundwater is present is called as hydrosphere, and we have talked about water and soil. Lithosphere where soil is present, hydrosphere where water is present. Now where air is present, the atmosphere which covers the earth like a blanket, in which air is present, which constitute many type of gases, it's known as atmosphere. So atmosphere containing air, hydrosphere containing groundwater, lithosphere containing soil, these three are our natural resources. As you can see that these are all non-living things, or you can say it in different term as abiotic things or abiotic factors, due to which biotic factors or biotic things like living organisms, life is sustainable due to this abiotic factor. So this biotic and abiotic factor interacting with each other forms biosphere. So these four words you have learnt: lithosphere, in which our soil is present, hydrosphere for groundwater, and atmosphere for air, which covers the earth like a blanket, and all these with interacting biotic factors produces biosphere. We have seen the introduction of natural resources. Now let's see our first natural resources, which is air. The topic name is the breath of life, air. Why it is called as breath of life? Because we know that every living organism, it may be prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cell. We have studied about these two cells in chapter 5, so now you are aware of that. So prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell needs energy to work, and this energy is brought by breaking down this glucose, and during this breaking down the cell requires oxygen. So this oxygen is present in air. That's why it is the breath of life. We know that every living organism breathe oxygen to function their body normally. So this requires oxygen, and during this process carbon dioxide is released as a byproduct, which will now get into atmosphere or environment. So this is the basic process. That's why air is very important, or it is called as the breath of life. So on the earth we have known the composition of air. In our chapter 1 we have seen that in air oxygen, nitrogen and carbon dioxide like gases are present in different amount. But if you talk about any other planet like Mars or Venus, if you talk about composition of air on Mars or Venus, you will see that the carbon dioxide is present up to 95 to 97% on Mars or Venus, while on Earth only a fraction percentage of carbon dioxide is present, or if it gets higher than that, it is dangerous for us. Why? Because on Earth a very high percentage of CO2 is fixed back. It is fixed again from the atmosphere into the first green plants. We know that green plants photosynthesis to produce energy in the form of glucose. So during this photosynthesis, what happens? They convert CO2 into glucose in the presence of sunlight. By using the energy of sunlight, they convert CO2 into glucose. So again CO2 is fixed from the atmosphere. And on the other hand, all the marine animals, means animals living in the oceans, they use carbonate. Carbonate is dissolved CO2 in water. They use carbonate to make their shells in which they live. So these two processes fix the atmospheric carbon dioxide into the biomass of living organisms. That's why the percentage of CO2 in atmosphere remains constant. And in against to this, there are many ways by which CO2 is get back to the atmosphere, like fuel combustion. We use fuel for transformation or many other mechanic works. This fuel combustion releases CO2 in atmosphere. And also any type of forest fire or any kind of fire will release CO2 into atmosphere. So this way the constitution of air or composition of air on earth remains constant. Now we will see the role of atmosphere in climate control. As we have seen that if this is earth, the atmosphere covers the earth like a blanket. So what is the role of this atmosphere to control climate? As we have seen that temperature is also a factor affecting lives of organisms. So this remains to be constant, or a very slight variation can be tolerated in terms of temperature. So how this temperature remains constant on earth? Because earth and moon, we know that moon surrounds earth, so these all earth and moon are at exact distance from the sun. But on the moon, the average temperature, or you can say the variation of temperature, is from minus 190 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. So you can see that this is a very huge variation in temperature. In this temperature no lives can survive, but on the earth it is not like this. Why? Because earth have atmosphere. So we know that from the previous topic that atmosphere contains air, and air is bad conductor of heat, which means it will not conduct heat that good. That means if the sunlight from the sun is coming on earth, the atmosphere will reflect very high amount of this temperature, or you can say heat or sunlight back. And also due to that, the temperature during daylight, or you can say during day, remains constant. Temperature doesn't rises during daylight in presence of sun due to our atmosphere. And also at night, the heat present in this atmosphere doesn't lose due to presence of air, or it will not let the heat go out of the atmosphere. So this way atmosphere plays a very important role in climate control during day and also whole year. There is an activity given in your textbook. You have to collect 2 beakers. In one you have to put sand, on the other you have to put water, and in third bottle you keep it empty, or you can say air is present in it, and you put a thermometer in that bottle to measure temperature. Now put these 3 system in sunlight and observe the temperature. After some time you will notice that soil will heat faster, or the rate of heating of soil will be much higher than that of water. You will observe from this activity, or it is common sense, you know that sand will heat up very faster than the water does. So by this you can say that the sand will also take less time to cool down than water. By this activity we can conclude that sand will heat up faster and will cool down faster than the rate of heating and cooling of water. You can do this activity at home. Understood? So we will see about our next natural resources, water and soil, in next lecture. Thank you.